Hello, Scott Haskin here, talking about the album Haunted Holidays, Deadly Christmas 3 and the song Joy from the World. Now this song is a twofold concept. One, I wanted to kind of tie in something a little different from the Bible that didn't really have to do with Christmas, but the story of the coat of many colors, which I remember I had some sort of Bible story album, or my brother did when we were kids, and I remember it was like a double album, and it told, a version of a lot of the major stories in it, which was done by a cast of characters. And I remember what sticks out in my head was Joseph's father. I think his name was Joseph. Yeah, and his father, just the sound of him sobbing when he found out that his son was dead, and that stayed in my head. So I wanted to do something with that. And so I told the story of this sort of magic boy who would show up to do good deeds for these people and, keep them warm, bring them clothing that he made himself. And he was kind of almost like a mystical creature, not necessarily, a human boy, but something that they really couldn't discern from being maybe like an elf or a magic creature or something like that. And so I called him Calico for the, for the coat of many colors. And that was sort of the tie-in there. And of course he made coats, so he's on the other side of the factory this time. And then we have the way that people are in society these days and how we interact with all these people, but we don't get to know them at all. We don't even know the name of the clerk who sells us the bottle of water that keeps us from being thirsty and getting dehydrated and passing out. It really is weird. And one time shortly before, I think it was within the last couple years of me moving to Vegas, I decided that I was going to interact with people more. Like everybody that I had to connect with, I was actually going to interact with them. So if I went to the sundry shop and got a bottle of water, I would actually ask the clerk, "How are you doing?" Not just a, "Hey, how you doing?" Kind of thing that we tend to do. And I heard some amazing stories from people that I would have never heard otherwise. I heard people, you hear their voice change, you hear their emotion change, you see them change physically. Instead of being hunched over, just ringing up sale after sale, they actually perk up because somebody's actually, sounding genuine, asking them how they're doing. And that really does make a difference, however long it lasts. It might have been 5 minutes or 10 minutes or, the whole day, I don't know. But what I would do is I would make sure that I was, would stand around long enough to hear them ring up a couple of people so I could kind of get a sense for where they were at. And it was usually, not unfriendly, but not engaging by any means. Very simple. And so I thought, all right, let me go and I'll get in line and I'll talk to them. And then I would wait and hear, fiddle with the receipt or whatever it was. And I would hear how they would interact with the people after me. And there was definitely a big change between before and after my interaction with them. And I realized how easy it is just to really make someone's day, and you can change that for them, and then they may go in turn change that for somebody else or several people that they talk to after you until it wears off. And it's just so easy to do. I mean, it takes no effort whatsoever. And so that kind of became part of the concept for this too, is the fact that we don't know, who it is that we meet with all the time, and they don't even get to know this guy's name, and he's keeping them warm for the winter because they only see him a very short time. And they have to come up with a nickname for him because they don't even know what to call him. And instead of just asking him his name, because by this point they're so many years in, how rude would that feel, for it to be pointed out to him that they don't even know his name. So it was just kind of a combination of all of those kind of things, and the little bit of the irony at the end, and the sadness, but also really not knowing what the boy was, because he wouldn't have told them anyway. And if he told them, they probably wouldn't have believed him. But certainly they had enough evidence to understand that he wasn't just a normal person. So you wrap all those concepts together, and then the story just kind of tells itself at that point. You want a little bit of a shocking ending on that. You want something that's going to make you feel a little bit, and maybe hopefully look at the world a little bit different. You hear that song tonight. Maybe when you go out tomorrow, when you stop and get your coffee at the convenience store, maybe you'll be a little nicer to the clerk. Maybe that will make their day, and they'll be nicer to other people, and it'll make their day, and it just, carries on. That's the hope anyway, sort of that ripple effect, if you will. But it was certainly a fun song to write. I had a lot of fun with it, and a lot of fun with the music in there. I wanted it to feel kind of cold and then warm, like, cold when you're waiting for him to show up, but warm when you get your jacket or your coat, and it just puts you in a little bit of a different mood as well. So anyway, that's the story of this song, and I will see you tomorrow for the next one.